Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader, and today it's like 4 days before Christmas, and here in North Texas we have some incredibly cold weather coming, at least for our part of the country. Friday morning's lows here in my area are going to be 8 degrees, which most of my garden is not prepared for those temperatures. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk you through how to prepare yourself for a hard freeze like we're having. There's no moisture expected, so no rain or snow or sleet or anything, just very, very, very cold. The wind chill will actually be in the negative temperatures. So we are going to work really hard to make sure our plants are as protected as possible. So stay tuned for that, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so right now it is about 46 degrees Fahrenheit, mildly sunny. The plants are looking pretty healthy. They are doing okay. There was a light freeze this morning, so some things are still perking up a bit after that. But as you can see, most of the garden is doing pretty well, except for where caterpillars have taken off the leaves on my plants. So the first thing that we are going to focus on for this garden is harvesting anything that is ready to be harvested. There's not really any sense in keeping it out here unless it is a root vegetable, because it's not going to survive in these temperatures. So we have some collard greens here and there. We are also going to harvest some of the rainbow chard over there. I have some kohlrabies over here that I can harvest. You can see that the cold temperatures that have already kind of hit have made them a little bit sad. So I'm going to harvest everything that I can from that. I'm going to harvest a little bit of kale, not too much because I do have covers to go over that. So that is the first thing that I'm going to do is harvesting. I've recruited a little bit of help to make this go a little bit smoother. So we have Lily here, and Logan is also out here, so you'll probably see them hop in and out of the video.
I did it.
You did it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, add it to the pot. And then let your brother. No, that's cabbage. This one. This is the only plant. So you can get this leaf right here.
What about this one?
Yeah, you can go ahead and get that one. We're gonna go ahead and get this kohlrabi right here. It's a pretty decent size, and then I'll just kind of cut that there. I really should have brought my bigger ones, but that worked. Good. So got our kohlrabi here. And roast that up to have a dinner. So these are a little bit smaller, but I don't really have a way to protect these two from the weather, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Logan harvest this kohlrabi and this kohlrabi, and I'll just roast them with the purple one. So Logan, you want to cut it down at the bottom here, okay? Oh look, it was trying to set roots. So you want to cut it about right there, okay?
Right here?
Yeah, you can do the other one.
Right here?
Yes.
There this is.
There you go. Now let your sister get this one.
Taking turns.
Go put that one into our harvest pot.
Dropped it.
Okay, Lily?
What?
Just underneath the round part, anywhere you can. Well, we just kind of pulled that whole thing up, didn't we?
I by the tree.
It's okay. You can still cut it. Cut it right down there. At the bottom, underneath the...
Right in the eye by the tree. Right there?
Yeah.
Somewhere over here. I got poked in the eye. I did it. Stick on the
Okay,
tree.
go put it in the harvest pot and give me the...
Mommy?
Yeah, I know. You gotta be careful. Here.
I'm going to shorten it.
Thank you.
It's the harvest pot.
It's down there. Okay, so we have lots of rainbow chard here. You guys want to prune some of these rainbow chard leaves?
Oh, yeah. I go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I did it.
Okay. See, let your brother harvest some. You walked away with the...
I don't want to. Be careful.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I see that big one. Dang, I lost it. I think this is it. I can't find that big one, so I'm just gonna do another.
This is a big one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I had some beautiful helpers. We harvested collard greens, kohlrabi, rainbow chard, mustard greens, and arugula. So let me show you really quick what that little harvest pot looks like. And there we go. I probably should have brought 2 vessels out here, but that's okay. So we will take that in, get those washed. Some of these I'm going to give to my husband's parents, and some of these we are going to keep for ourselves. So that's pretty exciting. Yay for food. The next step in getting ready for this hard freeze that's coming is watering everything really well. So that sounds kind of silly, right? Because water is going to freeze. But what is going to happen is the root system on these plants is going to soak up a lot of the water that we're going to put into the soil, and it's going to cause the cell walls within the plants to expand, and it kind of provides a little bit of insulation. Whereas if we didn't water, they wouldn't have those expanded cell walls, and they would freeze much faster. So we are going to go ahead and take care of that. We're going to water everything really deep, the green stalks, all of the plants that are in containers and buckets, and then even the stuff that is along this bed here. So I'll be right back after that's done. Okay, everything is completely watered. So the next step that we have for this is to go ahead and start covering things. Now, I have a few different things that I'm going to use to cover my plants because my garden is kind of like spread out, and I have different styles of container gardening going on. So for some little turnip and beet baby seedlings that I have, I'm going to cover those with some burlap, and I'm just going to lay some bricks on top of the burlap. I don't have high hopes that it's going to work that great, but I'm going to give it a try because I do have it here. I did water those seedlings really well. The reason that I chose burlap is so that the sunlight can still get through. I didn't want to like suffocate those baby seedlings with something, so I'm going to maybe even double up, have 2 layers of burlap. Some sun should still get through. Hopefully it at least protects it from the negative wind chill stuff that we have coming. And then for my green stalks, I have 3 of them. I found these plant covers that are for like trees, so I'm gonna see if these will work. It says that it's like 48 inches around, which should be plenty. That circumference should be plenty big enough to go over, and it's 71 inches tall. So this should be plenty big enough to at least fit over the green stalk. I have 3 of these because I have 3 green stalks. And I also have these kits to create some row covers with like metal arches, and then the cover goes over those arches, and it has little clips to clip it onto the metal so that the wind doesn't blow them off. I have 2 of those. So over here where the broccoli and the collard greens are, that's my plan for over there. And then the long row of plants down the fence where I have like the Chinese cabbages and the Brussels sprouts and the radishes. I have these frost blankets. These are 10 foot by 12 foot, so I have 2 of these. I'm going to have to get a little creative to make it work out because that's a max of 24 foot long, and I think that that row exceeds that, so I might have to make the plants like 3 deep instead of 2 to make this work. But that's the 4 different things that I have going on. As far as my carrots go that are along the fence over there, I'm actually going to move those into my greenhouse and drape burlap over them. The greenhouse will at least keep the wind off. As long as I can keep the roots themselves safe, the greens should come back eventually. If they kind of turn to mush from being frozen, that's okay as long as the roots are still good to go. So that's what I'm going to do with those. I would move my other turnips and beets that are growing, but those containers are entirely too heavy. They each have about 5 bags of soil in them, so that's too much for me to try to do on my own. So burlap is my plan for those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the green stalk covers first because that's going to be the easiest. So let's go ahead and get that opened up and see how that's going to work out. Okay. So that's definitely going to be tall enough. This is touching the ground. It's taller than me. It's just shy of 6 foot. So I think it's definitely going to be big around enough. So now we just kind of work it onto the green stalk. For the record, Green Stalk does sell covers on their website. However, I did not get them ordered in time for them to, I didn't order them at all because they wouldn't have arrived in time for me to prepare for the weather that's coming. So I got these off of Amazon, but you can get green stalk specific ones off of the Green Stalk website. If you wanted to go that route, then you know that they fit perfectly. Okay, well that works. It fits on there. It's a little kind of baggy around, so I am a little concerned about wind, but at least they are protected from the worst of the elements. So kind of show you down here at the bottom. It does go all the way to the bottom. I was able to tuck all of the plant leaves up inside, so there isn't anything hanging out. Oh. This is why I should have probably checked this before I started filming, because a major derpy moment of the day here. This actually has a zipper on it. I don't know if you can see that. So that would have made it much easier. It doesn't unzip all the way. It unzips probably 2/3 of the way, but that might have made it a little bit easier, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get the covers put on the other 2 green stalks, and I will check back in with you here in just a few minutes. Okay, all 3 green stalks are covered. I do also want to mention that there is a drawstring at the bottom, so you can pull it tight around the bottom of the green stalk. That will kind of help keep wind from going at least up and blowing this off as well. So here we go. We're going to protect all of these. I'm going to set the camera down and so we got the frost blanket put down all along that entire row. I used bricks to put it, make sure it was touching the ground on the back side. That way the wind doesn't blow it up and then, you know, undo all the work I did. But I'll let you kind of see real quick what that looks like. And don't worry, I will clean up my trash. So I am weighing it down with buckets and containers that have soil but no plants, or, you know, spent plants that I'm letting kind of decompose. So there you go. That is that. Next thing that I'm going to work on is the row covers. So I will go ahead and get those started. Okay, so quick note here. As you can see, this one is very opaque. You can barely see through this one. This one is very sheer. You can see all the plants in there. I don't know how well this is going to be protected. This is even with it doubled up. So I don't know if these plants are going to survive, but if you don't try, you definitely fail, right? So I just have to go ahead and clip those on. Hopefully, because these are brassicas, they bounce back. We shall see. That's kind of the nature of gardening in the wintertime, I guess. Okay, that is that one. That one is done. I will get the other one done and then I'll check back in with you and we will move on to the burlap over our beet, turnip, and rutabaga seedlings. I will be right back. Okay, here it is. This was quite a bit wider than I expected it to be, so I kind of doubled it up again up here in the front where the wind is really going to be ripping through here. I am really worried that this stuff is not going to survive. I don't think that this is going to be the best quality thing that can be used here. One thing that you could do if you were in this situation, you could put greenhouse plastic or painter's plastic over this fabric, and that would kind of insulate it a little bit more. Our big ice storm in 2021, that was what I lined the inside of my greenhouse with, and I was able to keep a lot of stuff alive with that. Unfortunately, I don't have it here, so I'm going to have to think about what else I can do here. You don't want the plastic to directly touch the plants because, especially if there's moisture, then it will just freeze onto the plant and then cause problems. So draping it over the fabric like this would be fine. What I may do tomorrow evening, since that's whenever the cold front is coming through, is tomorrow. What I may do tomorrow evening is come through with some cardboard and kind of try to tape it over the stuff that I really want to protect. That should provide enough insulation. Another thing that you could use is bubble wrap. With this being kind of the Christmas season, whatever packaging stuff you have, I'm not recommending you do that. I'm saying it might be worth an experiment. I'm willing to experiment because I do have extra plants somewhere in this garden. I have extra plants over there, and I have extra plants in my green stalks. So I'm willing to experiment to see what I can do to save these rows, if there's anything I can do. Because like I said, this thin fabric I don't think is going to do the job. It might add 5 degrees inside, but whenever your low temps are 8, 5 degrees isn't going to do much. It's still going to make it far colder than what these plants can tolerate. Even though they are frost hardy, most of them are not frost hardy below 20 degrees. I know kale is definitely 20 degrees. I have a feeling the rest of the brassicas are going to be very similar to that. So I need to think about what else I can do to insulate those a little bit better. We have some extra blankets I may just throw over for Thursday night and Friday and just take them off Saturday. Because after that, it's going to slowly warm back up and then we'll be okay. So that being said, I might have that figured out with some blankets, old towels, tree in the way. The next thing that we're going to do is focus on the seedlings and then the beets, rutabagas, and turnips that I already have growing. So you can see those right there. Okay, so I have everything that I can possibly covered, and the carrots are put into the greenhouse. I put all of the containers in my black Gorilla cart, and then I just put cardboard boxes over the top. The only thing that I'm trying to do is keep the carrot roots themselves from freezing. So I think that will work okay. It only has to last until Saturday. Today's Wednesday. I have a feeling the greenery is going to be very sad by that point, but it should perk back up once I bring them back outside. I just don't want to leave them out and risk those roots themselves freezing. If they were in the ground, that would be different, but because they're in containers, I'm taking a little more caution with them. So let me just walk through and show you everything one final time, and then that will be it for the day. Here is burlap on the ground for the little seedling babies. I just have it anchored down with containers and bricks and whatever I could find. My turnip, rutabaga, beet, not babies but not mature enough to harvest, also under burlap. My carrots are right there. We don't have the latch attached to the door frame yet, so I'm holding the door closed with a bucket. Brassicas, radishes, cabbages, stuff like that, all the way down. I think these are going to be much better protected than these, but this is better than nothing. Even if it only gives 5 degrees, it only gives 5 degrees, but it's better than no protection at all. If you guys have any ideas of something that I can do to throw over the top of this, just to give it a little bit more protection before tomorrow night, i.e. Thursday night. You guys are going to see this on Thursday, so tonight, please let me know in the comments. I am thinking at this point old blankets and towels. Unfortunately, the wind is going to be very fierce, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to anchor those on there, but I think that's going to be my best bet. And then we have the green stalks covered. That's my beet babies right there, and then 2 more green stalks. I moved the peas up against the house. That is just about the only thing that I can do at this point. I don't have anything else that I can protect those with. Maybe some towels I can wrap around since there's not going to be any precipitation. So we'll see what I can come up with before tomorrow, but that is it. I hope you guys learned something today, at least a few different methods that you can use to protect your plants during a freeze or a hard freeze. North Texas especially isn't really used to these temperatures, so I am also kind of learning as I go here, but I do want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy New Year, all of that, and I hope you guys stay warm and cozy. I will see you guys next time. Howdy y'all. It is now Thursday. I am about to edit and then publish this video, but I did want to show you guys some changes that I made to my attempt at this weather protection. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it is snowing slash sleeting. That was not in the forecast, but it is really starting to come down a bit. So I was really worried about the row covers because, as you saw earlier in this video, they were very thin and more like mesh. So I got old blankets and towels and clamped them on with my husband's woodworking clamps as best I could. That is going to be all that I can do really to protect these plants. If they're meant to live, then they will live. I have the green frost blankets weighed down with some bricks. The wind has been something else, so I've already had to fix that twice. I also came back and put cardboard over the burlap where my seedlings and my beets and turnips were growing. Try to point that out for you. I don't know how well that's going to work, but I figured if I could just keep the wind and the weather off of these things, then maybe they stand a chance. You can kind of see here on the clover where the weather has already frozen it and damaged it. It's currently 22 degrees outside. With the wind, it feels like -1. So it's tons of fun. But with that being said, I did Also want to mention one more thing that you can do to insulate your plants and give them a little bit of protection is mulch. You can use your leaves, you can use straw, you can use wood, whatever you have, you can use that to help insulate the roots of your plants. Unfortunately, I did not get around to acquiring any mulch this year, so that's also part of the reason why I was scrambling to try to protect these plants as much as I could. That is a great way to insulate the roots of the plants, and if you can pile it high enough, you can insulate at least some of the shorter growing ones like lettuces and stuff. But other than that, really water well, mulch, and cover the best you can. Hopefully this precipitation stops soon, because these fabric items should not get wet, because then they will freeze to the plants, which will definitely kill them. So fingers crossed that something makes it out of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and like I said yesterday, I hope you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and I will see you next time.